Hey Wig, my name's Annie and I'm so excited and honored to be doing this devotional with you today. Today I'll be reading through Thessalonians chapter 2 verses 13 through 17, which reads, "But we ought always to give thanks to God for you, brothers, beloved by the Lord, because God chose you as his firstfruits to be saved, through sanctification by the Spirit and belief in the truth. To this he called you through our gospel, so that you may obtain the glory of our Lord Jesus Christ. So then, brothers, stand firm and hold to the traditions that you were taught by us, either by our spoken word or by our letter. Now may our Lord Jesus Christ himself and God our Father, who loved us and gave us eternal comfort and good hope through grace, comfort your hearts and establish them in every good work and word." So there are a few things that I want you to take away from these passages. The first one is that through all the trials and temptations that we must stand firm in our faith. God's command to us is in verse 15 where he says, "So then, brothers, stand firm and hold to the traditions that you were taught by us, either by our spoken word or by our letter." So Paul is writing to us and he's saying that we're going to face many trials and temptations as Christians, and Satan likes to throw a lot of these at us to make us doubt God's love and sovereignty. Paul writes to show how God's sovereignty chose and called us to salvation through the gospel. And if we hold firm to God's truth and love, the enemy will not destroy our faith. The second point that I want to bring up is that God chose us for salvation. This is evident in verses 13 and 14. God chose to die for us, and our salvation is rooted with Christ. His choice of us was before the foundation of the world, hence the word firstfruits. We believe because he first chose us, and he chose us simply because he loves us. The next point is the concept of good grace. When God saved us, it was out of good hope. This shows how God is a good God with good grace, and good grace because he saved the sinners who were undeserving of his love. He did not save us out of our own merit or how smart we were or how rich or poor we were. He saved us because he's a loving, forgiving God who saves. And the final thing that I want you to take away is God's plan. God has a plan for us, and it may seem unclear now, but we have to be patient and allow God to reveal it to us on his time. God also has a will for our lives, and we are to be living testimonies to the saving grace of Christ, and we must share the hope we have with others through what we say and do. So that means that what we say and do has to be a reflection of God. And as his people, we are called to a greater purpose according to a greater plan. And even though persecution and trials are thrown at us, we are called to stand firm in our faith. Because he chose us to be saved, we are called worthy and loved by the God of all creation. So my prayer for you is that in times of trials and persecution that we're able to stand firm in our faith and hold firm to the truths that God tells us. And I also pray that in times of doubt that we know that God calls us loved and worthy, and that we are able to cast all of our anxieties on the all-knowing and all-powerful God.